I waited 3 years to share this very important and favorite military discount with all of you. Yes, Tiffany and Company military discount. Welcome to Military Monday. Hi amigos, welcome back. Bienvenidos if you happen to be new here because you are stopping by because of the title of this video. As a military spouse married to a soldier in the U.S. Army Reserves that served and defended his country for 36 years until his recent retirement in 2024, it was very important for me to have that as a part of my channel, to talk about military discounts for the families, for the spouses, for those that are eligible. And we don't hear about military discounts, especially from a premium, from an elite design jewelry house, right? Like Tiffany and Company. And so that was really important for me to also talk about, aside from luxury and travel and other things and lifestyle of whatever I happen to share here on my channel. I'm thankful for all of you that have subscribed and that do come and watch my videos. And for those that do happen to watch and you might not have yet subscribed yet, I would love for you to subscribe. But thank you so much for just showing support and watching these videos. So I'm very, very excited, being that I have wanted to do this video forever, especially ever since I started my channel. So this is a very important military discount for me that I wanted to share with all of you. My husband and I recently celebrated our 10-year anniversary. We were married in 2015 on Cinco de Mayo. And when we were shopping around for engagement rings and diamonds, we actually went into Tiffany and Company back in 2014 when I was trying to find, a ring. And the sales associate there, she was very, very lovely. And she happened to, as in conversation, my husband happened to mention he was military. And she says, Tiffany's does offer a military discount and they give you a 10% discount on diamond engagement rings. I fell in love with a ring that they had that was a double halo, and it had a pink halo around the center diamond, and I believe it was like a cushion cut diamond. And I fell in love with the ring, but I just, the price tag is rather hefty because you're paying for the name with Tiffany and Company. I've been working with a wholesale jeweler for over 10 years. My wholesale jeweler pretty much did a really, really good, carbon copy as best as he could of the ring that I fell in love with at Tiffany's. And we paid a small fraction of the cost because, of course, it was wholesale and then we don't pay tax. I happen to have an older diamond engagement ring from Tiffany and Company. And so of course, you can trade in the ring, when you are making a new purchase. And so David had said, just go ahead and hold on to it. And maybe for another milestone, event, we'll go ahead and get you a ring from Tiffany and Company. And so we went that route. And so that's why I went ahead and just had my wholesaler make me my current, engagement ring, which I still have. And so because we were doing a 10-year milestone anniversary, I thought, now's the perfect time. We can go ahead and get that ring that I have and just trade it in and upgrade it. And the sales associate that helped me out back then 10 years ago, she's still my sales associate now, but she's at Lee Michaels. And so now she's my Rolex connection. But my lovely SA that I am currently working with there at Tiffany and Company, he's been wonderful. And, we have a good relationship with him the last few years. So we went a few years ago, like for a Valentine's Day event, which is when they did this little sketch for us there. And I had told my SA that I wanted to eventually upgrade my old engagement ring to a yellow diamond. I've been infatuated with yellow diamonds for a long time. And so we were looking at them back then. We went ahead and advised my sales associate that we wanted to go ahead and trade in. And he said, Laura, I don't know if the yellow diamonds now qualify for the military discount. We still do it. He goes, but I'd have to call and just make sure. And if not, let's go ahead and let me see if I can get an exception for you, because you and I have been talking about upgrading your ring to a yellow diamond already for a few years. And so I said, okay. So he actually, reached out to who he needed to reach out to, and they went ahead and said, yes, we could go ahead and upgrade it to a yellow diamond. So we went in, saw a few rings that he had there, tried them on, but then I still wanted something different. So he actually happened to let one of the other office managers know in the back, because they are only limited as to how many rings that they can request in from other stores. And since I happened to have met that office manager last year, because she's a friend of a friend, she was like, no, we're going to request in a lot more rings. So thankfully she requested in several more that I could try on, because I wanted the biggest yellow diamond in the cushion cut that I could get within the budget that I wanted. The original ring that I had from Tiffany and Company, that from 2005, it was a ribbon ring, and it was very, very different, and I loved it. It almost looked like, I called it like little rabbit ears, because it was a prong set, tension set diamond with these little ribbons on the side. And I love that. It was very unique, and you know, you didn't see that ring back then. So that's the ring that I had that I wanted to trade in. And I completely forgot to take a picture of it because everything just happened so fast with me giving them everything that I needed so they could go and evaluate it and then, you know, select the one that I wanted. So thankfully I had a good option of different price ranges of rings. But as I mentioned, I wanted, you know, the biggest that I could get as far as the yellow diamond. And it was a tough choice because they were all so beautiful. And so David had said, take your bands that you use with your original engagement ring. He goes, so this way you can play with it and you can see how you're going to be able to style it, use it, you know, with the new ring. So you can, it'll help you determine which one that you want. And, you know, just going back and forth. And of course, the one that had the double halo, of course it was gorgeous, but it was very similar to what I currently have already. And that yellow diamond was smaller. It was less in carat weight. I think it was less than 70 points. I think it might have been like 68, 69 points. And the single halo with the yellow diamond cushion cut had a larger diamond. I went ahead and went with the larger one. And it comes in this box. We had a little nice weekend in Dripping Springs. Went to Tilly's, which is a nice little restaurant out there, and had a nice little tea party, lunch. And so before we left that weekend, since we spent it out there for our anniversary, I went ahead and did my little unboxing while we were there. And let's go ahead and let me show you the ring that I ended up picking from Tiffany and Company. And you may have already seen it in some of the other videos that I've done, but this is my beautiful fancy yellow diamond set in platinum with the white diamonds on the sides, and then of course my cushion cut yellow diamond in the center. And it's gorgeous. It's just what I wanted, something simple, nothing too big, because I already have this one, and this one just has a beautiful fancy yellow center. But the nice thing is I can always interchange this ring and wear it with the other bands that I currently use for several of the rings that I will, and you know, interchange it with. So this is how it looks if I layer it with the two bands that I'll put along my engagement ring. And it's just nice and low. It's not too high, but it's just something simple, just clean with the yellow, and really, really pretty. This is the Tiffany Soleste ring with set in platinum with 18 karat yellow gold prongs around the cushion cut center diamond. And the center diamond is 0.77 points or 0.77 carats. And then it is 0.26 in brilliant round diamonds around the halo. And then of course on the sides, just really, really beautiful, really pretty. And it's different. Of course, it's going to be different than my original engagement ring. So I have two options to have if I want to have more of the white diamond. And you can see where the pink diamond is the first halo, but it's very, very soft. It's a very soft, faint pink diamond set in rose gold with the first halo. So this is what my jeweler did to mirror the original Tiffany ring that we saw 10 years ago as best as could. But this was a much better value, of course, buying it wholesale from my jeweler than, of course, you know, a premier designer where you're paying for the name. You're paying for the name, but I have both, so I can interchange them easily. It's a nice piece, just another option that I can wear as an alternative in case I want to go a little bit bigger, or I just want to be have a nice demure fancy yellow diamond and not have something as large and, you know, or calling attention, especially if like we're on vacation. I actually have it with my Michelle watch. This is my watch of the day, just so you can see how it actually goes well with it, because it actually has like the yellow stones on the center against the pink mother of pearl face. So this is the limited edition Desert Rose, and you have the two-tone band. So it just plays well with the brilliant fancy yellow diamond. I've been wearing this watch a lot as if I happen to use this ring for the day, I'll use this watch with it. And then if I wanted to just use one single band, I could. I took several bands when we were there that day just to play around. So if I just want to layer it with one simple thin, you know, band, I could. And this is actually what I took with me on vacation. I didn't take my bigger ring, but it's pretty. It's simple. It's beautifully demure, beautifully, exquisitely demure. And I finally have a yellow diamond in my collection, and it just plays well. They'll go ahead and size it for you, but the man in the back, the manager, the jeweler, he had said you can go on Amazon and order the little jewelry kit. He actually sent me the link for it, and it comes in this nice little kit here with a bunch of other like little spacers that you can actually put, like especially if you have other rings that are larger. But it came with this one that was different, and you can cut it. So this way, if I wasn't, because he says if you're not ready to size it yet, he goes, and it's too loose, he goes, just go ahead and use this, and you can cut some piece off, and then you can just kind of like, it'll thread like around, right? Like around the ring, and it'll help be like a spacer for it. So see how you can just kind of twist it like that. So in case you have any other rings, not just this one, but see how it'll fit there to just go at the bottom. And see if we can do a close up there. I did my little unboxing of this while we were out there. At the same place we went to for Valentine's Day. We loved it out there in Dripping Springs, just out there in the hill country, really, really nice. And I did the little unboxing by in front of the cactus with the yellow flower, because of course it was the yellow diamond, just to kind of coordinate it. But you know, even though you might think, well, Laura, that's not really, really beautiful because you've got the cactus has thorns. Well, so does life, right? Life isn't perfect. Life isn't all roses. You know, with the roses, we have thorns. With thorns, we learn and grow. Not everything is going to always be perfect. You always are going to have, you know, good times and bad times. And life isn't always a bed of roses. For me, the cactus with the yellow flower was just perfect, because yellow, you know, even though it's the flower of the cactus, yellow roses are friendship. And for me, the friendship is just key. It's important. That's the number one thing for sure in our marriage. And I'm so blessed that I have a wonderful and godly husband who is truly, truly, you know, a wonderful, wonderful friend that, you know, we just get along so well. So I'm very lucky, very blessed. We actually made the purchase for this ring in April, and thankfully we did, because, you know, at the time the whole discussion of the tariffs was going on, and so my SA said this is a good time to do it right now, because we don't know what's going to possibly happen with all these tariffs if they do, you know, go through with it. And so we ended up making the purchase for this ring right around mid-April. And I'm glad we made it at that time, because literally a couple of weeks later, he messaged me and said, Amiga, if there's anything else that you want, that you've been eyeing, you know, with Tiffany and Company, he goes, we're going to have a price increase, you know, in another week. So if there's anything else that you are wanting to purchase, he goes, now's the time before the next price increase goes through. So thankfully we made the purchase when we did, because that price increase, they had that in May of 2025. So perfect timing, and just good timing all around. And I'm glad I waited to do my little trade-in, my upgrade for this, you know, beautiful new fancy yellow ring for our 10-year anniversary Of course, all of your Tiffany diamonds, they of course have the number that is on your diamond, right? Because it's almost like a VIN number, just like for your car. They'll have the big like microscope, whatever you call it for the jewelers. And so they'll put your ring there. And so that way you can go ahead and, you know, look at the number, look at any inclusions. For those of you that are military, they will do a 10% off of the diamond engagement ring. So for this trade-in and for this purchase, they went ahead and gave me the full amount of what was originally paid for. This is my new receipt, but I still had all of my paperwork from my original, from what they mailed me. So I had all of that in here, and then I had the ring in this original box. Since I still had the original receipt, they took that amount, applied that to the amount for this ring, and then they subtracted that, and then they went ahead and they took off the 10%. So once they took off the 10% off of this ring, that was, you know, over $1,000, which was, you know, very, very helpful, especially when you are making this purchase. And then just so you know, in case for those that do need it, they do offer financing interest-free in case that is something, you know, some of you are needing when you are making, you know, considering to make a large purchase like that. And the nice thing about the new boxes is that, of course, you can personalize it. So when I got my necklace, I had them go ahead and emboss the box for me. So in case you want to do a surprise for somebody, you can always do that on the ring box as well. I'll have them go back and do that one for me at a later time. But these new boxes are so, so pretty and soft, and just the nice Tiffany and Company color with the really, really pretty little gold detail, because this is the original. You can see it says Tiffany and Company there. So this is the original box. So he was like, keep all of that. He goes, just take it with you. He goes, because we don't give out these little booklets anymore. We don't have these boxes anymore. He says, this is the new box that it comes in. And so what they'll do is they'll email you an evaluation report. So this way you can send it to your insurance, because you, of course, you want to insure your diamonds. And then you'll have that for your records. And so it'll have all the specifics, right? All the dimensions on your diamond. And that one I can print it out and then, you know, put it in here. But it's no longer, for those of you that might have had the engagement rings, you know, that you would have purchased 20 years ago, you no longer get that really pretty fancy little bordered paper with all of the specifics of your diamond anymore. It's just emailed to you. So I'll have to print that and then just save it in here and keep them in the safe, or put them in your safety deposit box. So this is today's military discount. I hope this information helped for any of you that might be considering. If you're in the market for a diamond engagement ring and you've been looking around, shopping around, and if you hadn't considered, you know, Tiffany and Company, for those of you that are military, that you're eligible with your, you know, military ID to show that you have previously served or currently served, know that they will give you the Armed Forces discount. And let me know if you end up picking up a nice piece from Tiffany and Company now that you are aware of this discount. Thanks for watching today's video. And again, to all of our military, thank you so much for your service. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Until next time, hasta la próxima. Bye-bye.